Learn how to depart smart with advice to help you travel with confidence. Meet Jake and Tomas. Although they're both about to embark on their first solo trip abroad, their travel styles couldn't be more different. In the following modules, we'll examine a few travel scenarios a typical student may encounter while traveling abroad and how each student approaches these situations. While all travel comes with some risk, several factors set students apart from frequent business travelers or seasoned adventurers. Lack of travel experience, housing and transportation choices, length of stay, and a tendency to engage in higher risk behaviors are all factors that impact security, safety, and health. Of course, there are also benefits to studying abroad or traveling independently, like gaining confidence, independence, and new perspectives. Academic programs and parents play a part as well, and this module will cover the basics for everyone. The night before the big trip, Jake falls asleep on the couch watching TV. His alarm wakes him the next morning. He jumps up and frantically throws some clothes in his suitcase and zips his passport into his backpack. He figures anything he forgets can be purchased abroad. Across town, Tomas logs into the university portal for a quick search of his new neighborhood. He saves emergency contacts to his phone, arranges check-ins with family, and types out some phrases in the local language so he'll know how to ask for help if he needs it. Before you go, research security issues like the types of crimes or scams prevalent in the area, as well as cultural norms and local laws to keep yourself out of trouble. Create an emergency plan and save important numbers to your phone. Store important documents like copies of your passport, driver's license, health insurance, and prescriptions to the cloud. Jake has arrived at his destination. As he exits the airport, he immediately regrets not pre-booking a taxi before his arrival and chooses an unlicensed cab at random. Jake struggles to communicate with the driver, who appears confused when Jake tries to read out the address of his accommodation. He tries to look up the address on his phone, but has no internet. It takes hours for the driver to find his hostel. When it's time to pay, Jake hands over all his spare cash because the taxi driver doesn't accept card payments. Tomas has made it to the arrivals as well. He makes sure his phone is working, and as he exits the airport, a pre-booked cab is already waiting to pick him up. He verifies the registration and offers a friendly greeting to the driver. Once he's in the cab, he shares his location with his mom. He arrives at his destination quickly and prepares to grab lunch with a friend. Exhausted, Jake stumbles into the room, flings his bag down, and falls asleep fully dressed. As he sleeps, a stranger reaches inside his window and swipes his passport from his backpack. It's not until he wakes up late the next morning that he realizes his passport is missing. He heads to the embassy and waits in line for hours to file an emergency passport replacement request. Tomas is back from a lovely evening with friends. He notes the smoke alarm and is happy to see his door has a deadbolt. He locks the windows and the door, secures his passport in a lockbox, and checks in with his mom before closing the curtains and going to bed. Locate important places like housing, school, embassy, nearest hospital, and police station. Save these locations to an offline map on your phone so you can find your way without Wi-Fi or data. Do an inspection of your housing. Note any issues with outdoor lighting and fences. Make sure doors, windows, and other entry points are secure, and check that there are fire safety features like smoke detectors and fire extinguishers. To clear his head from the night before, Jake ventures out to get a taste of the local nightlife. While at a nightclub, he strikes up a conversation with a local. After a few too many drinks, the stranger suggests they visit a hidden gem off the beaten path. As they walk through a dark alleyway, the stranger attacks Jake and takes off with his phone. Jake is left stranded and has to walk back to his hostel. Tomas has also been looking forward to exploring the city, but instead of going alone, he visits the same nightclub with a group of students from his shared apartment. They stay close together, and when their night of fun is over, Tomas pre-books a cab for a safe ride home. Before going out to explore the local nightlife, remember to charge your phone. Always stick with your group and get everyone's contact information. Avoid poorly lit areas. Never leave your drink unattended or accept a drink from a stranger. For a safe ride home, pre-book a licensed taxi or rideshare. Be careful with cash, and if you can, avoid using ATMs at night. Let's check back with Jake. He's on his way back from purchasing a new phone. While he's distracted setting up his phone on a crowded bus, a pickpocket steals his wallet. He makes his way to a nearby cafe for a much-needed cup of coffee, but when he goes to pay, he realizes his wallet is missing. Across town, Tomas receives a message from a friend inviting him out for coffee. While he has a secure connection, he looks up the cafe's location and routes his way using his pre-downloaded offline map. Unlike Jake, he travels through the city confidently and without distractions, pausing only to dip into a shop to double-check directions before carrying on his way. He arrives promptly at the cafe, where he's greeted by his friend. When traveling around, look up your route before you leave so you can focus on your surroundings. If you do need to check your phone, step inside a nearby business or stand with your back against a wall to make yourself less vulnerable. Only go out with the cash and cards you need for the day and leave the rest at home. Remember to also practice digital safety by checking your phone's security settings, limiting what you share on social media, and using secure connections when accessing personal or financial information. Remember, research and plan ahead. Practice situational awareness. Know how to respond in an emergency. Now that you've learned some helpful travel safety tips, you're better prepared to travel safely and confidently on your travels abroad. Depart smart. Safe travel starts here.